Lyle Banks, Diana Duke, Jeffrey Roger Friedel, Hungry, Brett Rhodey, Lindsay Neston, Mark Christensen, Paul Fulsham, Kurt Fertig. We appreciate our guests. Glad to have you with us this evening. I have asked Lyle Hungry to offer a prayer, and Jeffrey will lead us in the pledge. We will be praying. If somebody's uncomfortable with the prayer, you can step out and join us in a moment. Otherwise, Lyle.
Our Father in heaven, as we come before thee at this time, we're thankful for the blessings which we have. We're grateful to meet together this evening in Tremonton City Council. We're grateful for the opportunity to serve and to be a part of this community. We ask thy Spirit to be with us, that we might be able to discuss the matters pertaining to the betterment of our community and make things a little nicer and better to live in. We're grateful for those who serve, for our police department, and for those in the military, and ask for thy Spirit blessing to be with them and to protect them. These things we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any conflicts of interest that we need to declare on anything we're dealing with tonight? Okay. We have an agenda. Any questions on the agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Second it.
Motion made by Lyle, second by Lyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any questions on the minutes of October 1st, 2019? Hearing none, we need a motion.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes.
Motion made by Lyle Hongren,
Second.
second by Jeffrey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment. This is a time for the public to address the city council on any concerns or issues, if you feel so inclined. It's your opportunity. Your opportunity is gone. Presentation by students from Promontory School of Expeditionary Learning. Did I say that right? Expeditionary Learning on xeriscaping. Xeriscaping. Whatever. Xeriscaping.
Sounds like class.
I assume this is you guys.
Yes.
Come up so people can hear you. And
Good.
Oh, do we need to slide your device over? Does she need to use the mic?
Yes.
please,
Okay.
otherwise we can't hear you.
Let's
Are the mics working on the
let's slide it
table?
over so they can reach.
Yeah, the mics might be working on the table.
Okay. There you go.
Do we need to speak in here?
Yeah. and do the microphone.
Hi, I'm Zoe Reiser, and I will be presenting to you today about xeriscaping in lawns. What is xeriscaping? Xeriscaping is when you use plant material and rocks instead of lawns. Xeriscaping is usually used in desert areas. Xeriscaping is good because less money is spent on water and you use less time taking care of it, and it also appreciates plant material. Xeriscaping helps save water because it is just plant and rock, and water can cost a lot of money. Xeriscaping is proved to be more cost-effective, even if only a small part of lawn is xeriscaped. People say lawns look nicer and more taken care of than xeriscaped yards. Xeriscaping helps with saving water and muddy, and it takes less time taking care of it and shows appreciation to plants. Xeriscaping can help save the planet. Any questions?
That was very informative. Way to go.
How long have you been studying about this?
I don't know.
Just this year?
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Have you done, has your family done anything with your property, with your house?
No.
Would you like to?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Do we make you nervous?
No.
Okay. You don't need to be
Look at
nervous.
that
You did a
face.
fantastic job. That was very good.
Thank Very you. good.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paulette,
I just wonder if this would be something you'd like for us to put on our website.
absolutely.
If they could give me a copy of that, we'd put it on as a PDF, and people interested in that off of Tremont City website, they can scan through it if you would like.
Absolutely. That would be wonderful. Thank you. And we also, did we email you a survey that we'd like the council members to fill out? We will get that to you tomorrow, so that would be great.
You know, when you talk xeriscaping?
Xeriscape.
Xeriscape. Okay, I think it's a brilliant idea, but you need somebody that's creative that can do that kind of stuff. I think it's a great idea. Come up with some,
An
recommend
architect, some plans?
some plans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you their teacher?
I am.
Oh, great.
This project, you want to tell them about the expedition we're doing right now? What you guys had to turn in today? You remember?
Yeah.
Hop up there and tell them while she's looking. So tell them what you turned in to Miss Jim today.
We made conceptual plans about desert learning environments, and
Tell them what they're for.
we're going to make designs and put them on the school property so that kids can go out and learn about the desert.
And where is the schools in Promontory?
It's in Perry. It's in Perry.
It's in what?
It's a charter school in Perry.
It is in Perry.
Yes.
Not in Promontory.
Yeah,
in Perry.
in Perry.
That'd be a long drive.
Don't ask me
That's what-
why that happened, but.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
We had about 5 acres of property next to our school that was part of the school property. And we've had several sections developed and designed by students. And we've got a pollination garden as one area. We have a forest ecosystem that has yet to be put in. And then the desert ecosystem is what the kids are working on right now.
Nice.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Annalisa Nielsen. Thank you for letting me come and present today for you. I'm here to prove my point on why xeriscaping is better than lawns. The definition of xeriscaping is landscaping with little or no supplemental water or irrigation. You save a lot of water if you xeriscape. It saves about 50 to 75% of homeowners' water. Families in America use about 320 gallons of water per day, which is equivalent to 40,906 ounces. People usually drink about 2 liters of water per person per day. Now think about how much water we drink and how much our lawns use. We live in a desert, so we really need to conserve water. When you xeriscape, using less water also means you having less maintenance plants, and it requires less maintenance. Saving water also means saving money. In Tremonton, it costs about $101.25 per every 1,000 gallons. That doesn't sound bad, but the more water you use, the more expensive it gets. People may say lawns are better. Lawns are good to sit on and play on. They are also good for backyard sports. But homeowners use a lot of water on watering their lawns. Just to recap, xeriscaping saves a lot of money. Families use a lot of water on watering their lawns, and xeriscaping saves money and water. Thank you for letting me come and present for you today. I hope that you will take into account what I said. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.
We needed them when we did the open house, right?
Have you heard of the term local scape?
No,
So, the xeriscape is, we kind of haven't figured it out in northern Utah, well,
Right.
any part of Utah, really. They've kind of figured it out down south, and they do a really good job with it down there. Up here, we haven't quite figured it out yet. We're still kind of feeling our way. But there's a new type of it's sort of a hybrid between what people want to have lawns, and you've mentioned that. We like to have our lawns. We like to have them but we need to conserve. And so this is sort of a hybrid between xeriscape and regular lawns. And so and it is a combination of rocks and and all the other stuff. But then but we also in in Utah, we like to have our lawns. So this is just kind of compacting the lawns to what we really need, and filling in the rest with rocks and so forth. There's a few examples of it around,
awesome.
but the term is local scape,
Sweet.
and
Cool.
so that's
We'll
one you ought to
incorporate
look
that.
into.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you for letting us come. We really appreciate it. And we will get those presentations to you.
Any questions for him, council?
I think it's great.
job.
Thank you for
Thank you very
coming and
much.
doing that.
Where would you like this? Right here.
Thank you very much.
Question of the council.
Do you come over here?
Come up and introduce yourself.
We have to have minutes, so we have to know who's saying what.
I'm Chris Nelson. I'm a parent of one of the presenters. And you asked the previous student if her family has done anything. Our family has looked into it, but one concern that I have in Brigham City is whether we have any, and I don't know, I haven't looked into it too much, but I know some cities have restrictions on rules about how much lawn you have to have, how much you have to have on your park strip. Does Tremonton have any rules about landscaping in homeowners' yards?
Not for residential, but we do for commercial, where we limit lawns based upon lot size, and it's anywhere from 50 to 60% of a commercial property is limited to lawns.
So they can't have more than that in lawn space, or they have to have at least that much in lawn
No,
space?
they can't have more than that in lawn space,
Okay.
but there's no restriction on, and if you travel the city, you can see different examples of commercial sites that have no lawns, but it's a limitation on lawn area.
That's just something as, again, I don't live in Tremonton, but as somebody, somebody in the community, it would be nice to see a city encourage local scaping. I think is more palatable than xeriscaping to a lot of people. But it would be nice to see that from a city standpoint, saying, FYI, we encourage this. We have no restrictions on, we don't have any rules saying you have to have a certain amount of lawn. Because I know in some cities they do require, a certain percentage of your, I guess, landscaping space has to be lawn, which doesn't make sense in a desert environment. So, yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 19-46, amending the Tremont City Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual, including sections VUI Employee Code of Conduct regarding personal use of Tremont City facilities, equipment, and vehicles, and section 18, leaves of absence regarding accrual of paid annual leave. Sean?
We talked about it at the work session, and I would just summarize by saying we're amending our policies to be consistent with some of the new state legislation as it relates to personal property and use of the city's property, I should say, by employees. And then as it relates to the calculation of vacation leave, rather than it being based upon years of service to Tremont City, it would be based upon years of service within the Utah retirement system. And so I think it would be helpful as we look to recruit future positions, might be able to attract more experienced candidates as they wouldn't lose their vacation time that they've accrued in other locations. So,
Council, do you have any questions on this?
I like the idea that we're matching up to the URS, so there's a standard that we go by. I like this.
Well, it helps us in being competitive too, you know, and so I think it's a good idea.
I make a motion that we adopt resolution number 19-46.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Lyle Vance, seconded by Lyle Holmgren. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Brett, aye.
Lyle H.
Yeah, fine.
Diana, I.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Okay, thank you. Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution 1947 requesting the recertification of Tremont City Justice Court for the Justice Court Standards Committee and the Utah Judicial Council. Questions on this one? John?
you know, Judge Christensen's with us tonight, so. don't
I
see
think
any
we should
questions.
have him come up here and stand so we can look him right in the eye.
Oh, remember this, Judge, you can get her.
He already did.
Oh, good.
Last time I was here, she got me to come up here and said she just baked cookies. I said, yeah, they were still warm. There's no cookies tonight. Yeah, every 4 years we're up for recertification. It requires an affidavit from me, which I have filled out and signed. Requires a resolution from the city council, and it also requires a letter from the city attorney, which I think we have also. So we have everything in place and ready to go. We just need your okay for another 4 years. So.
Council, do you have any opinions?
Think long and hard.
Think long and hard about our
I
opinion?
just got to kid him while I got him there.
Makes me nervous up here.
How does it
Better
feel?
make the motion.
I know, right? Yeah. Get a whole different perspective.
You need a bailiff back here with that.
Yeah, and just
Stand up, Chief, get the
clicking
cuffs
out.
All right.
I make a motion that we adopt Resolution 1947.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Diana, seconded by Jeffrey. Roll call again.
Brett, aye.
Lyle H. I.
Jeff, aye.
Diana, I.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Okay.
You got
Thank
it.
you. Appreciate it. Are you gonna send that in, put everything together? Okay, thanks. I'm gonna sneak out of here. It's good seeing everybody.
We're not gonna stay.
Well, I don't, what's on the agenda?
No, but
But it sure was fun having you
I
there.
know, I'm gonna,
Thank you.
You were the high point.
thank you. See
All
ya.
right. Discussion and consideration of approving resolution 19-48, adopting an interlocal agreement for the United Policing Services between Fremont City and Garland City. Kurt, do you have anything more that you need to add on this?
No, unless you have any questions.
Council, do you have any questions?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 19-48.
Motion made by Lyle H.,
I'll second it.
seconded by Brett. A roll call.
Brett, aye.
Lyle H. I.
Jeff, Nate,
Diana, I.
And Lyle,
Threw
Nay.
me off.
Motion passes. Thank you. Calendar items, review of any specific calendar items we need to be talking about? Trick or treat?
I believe that the New Hope Crisis Center is doing a walk from the city offices if you're available. Starts tomorrow at 5:30, if I understand correctly, ends at 5:50. I think they made the loop and where they begin, which is here. Trick or Treat on Main, just thought you would be interested. That's always a great event. There's nothing specific assignment for the council members, but I thought you would just kind of appreciate knowing that. The chamber facilitates that now, the Box Elder County Chamber, and it's always a great event, so.
It's gotten big too, hasn't it?
Excuse me, it has. Yeah, makes for a lively Main Street.
Yeah.
And then just the assignments. So Brett's on deck for tomorrow. Kind of a small agenda, some concept items, and one final plot that we're reviewing tomorrow.
What time's that at?
9.
Okay. Anything else, Sean?
Not under calendar items.
All right. Development Review Committee reports, anything on that?
You know, we're continuing to work with Sir Kurt Sadler. And you might recall that they came at the last city council meeting. You know, we gave an overview of what they're proposing down south. They are scheduled for public hearing, I believe, with the Planning Commission. I think it's this 5th Tuesday of this month, is what I understand. Steve's the one who schedules those at the Planning Commission level, and so that's moving forward. I did talk to Wasatch Development, Bracken Atkinson. They are the property owners of the multifamily project behind Shopco in Tremonton Center. And a couple of weeks ago, he told me that they were fairly close to putting in an application. We were kind of coordinating some of the storm drain issues, and we talked a little bit about the roads. This was outside of the DRC meeting, by the way. He just happened to be in the city offices, and it was after a DRC meeting, and the city engineer was there, and Paul. And so we just talked about a few issues that they were needing to finalize, and should have something submitted here in the near future.
I'm glad that you have your door open to those guys so that you can kind of help them, so they're prepared when they come into DRC meeting.
Yeah.
That's a welcoming mat.
Oh, good, yeah. We appreciate their interest and anyone's interest in developing in Tremont, so continue to work with people and encourage development.
I had a lady call me, a real estate person from Salt Lake, yesterday, and wants to meet next week sometime, talking about some ideas that she has for Tremont City too.
Is it Jackie?
No, this was Amy Rasmussen.
Okay.
No, Amy Rasmussen Jensen, I think. She called up and wanted to meet next week. She has some ideas.
The opportunity zone's really helping us out. People are looking at us.
Yeah, and we need to, we've started the process, I really need to finish it, but trying to get UAC, which is Utah Association of Counties, they've sort of taken the lead to get the information out there and facilitate, try to essentially facilitate, along with GoEd, investors to come into these opportunity zones. And so we're trying to put a meeting together where they'll come up and present, and we'll try to bring people and get them to understand what the opportunity zone is and how they can take advantage of it, and just kind of get a round table.
As property that's in the counties, but in that area where it could potentially be an opportunity zone, does it have to, if it's annexed in, is it sort of adopted into the opportunity zone as long as it's in that area?
Well, it's actually, they're already pre-designated, and they associate with census tracts. And so our opportunity zone includes, you know, a majority of Tremont City, but it also includes, I think, some of Elwood. And Brigham cities, for example, there's only 2 within Box Elder. It's Tremont and Brigham. Pretty certain that's the case. I don't think Box Elder has one.
But do you see what I'm saying? If
it takes an act of Congress to essentially change the opportunity zone. So Brigham City, for example, their opportunity zone splits down Main Street. So the east side of Main is in the opportunity zone. The west side is in the west side.
Oh, it just depends on where it is. But what I'm saying, I guess what I'm getting at is some of that property over in East Tremont is still in the county, but probably would be in the opportunity zone if it were in Tremont. And so if it's annexed in, is it just put into the opportunity zone, or is it Is it not? That's kind of my
Yeah, it
question.
doesn't have really associated anything with annexation, it's just associated with census tract, so.
Oh, okay, so if it's in Tremonton, then it's part of the opportunity zone.
Yeah, because the census tract includes most of Tremont City.
Okay.
And that's why some of the opportunity zone is outside our incorporated limits, and I guess would be in unincorporated Fox Hill.
Well, that's why maybe I should have said it, is
Yeah,
incorporated and unincorporated, so,
yeah.
yeah, okay. All right, well, that answers my question. Thank you.
One more thing about I've learned that was good for, I believe, a 4-year period. At the end of 4 years, they redo all the zoning again. When the next issue comes up, we may or may not be in opportunity zones, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they reassess those zones, trying to infuse economic development in places, so we may or may not be on the next.
So is it a good thing that we're developing in these opportunity zones? Is it a good thing that we're showing that we're doing something?
Yeah, I hope that they open it back up again for us.
It's a great window of opportunity to get outside money. That's what I like about it is, I mean, I like people to invest within the community that are in the community, but it's just like with retail, you're always trying to attract, people from outside your community to bring money into your community.
Right.
And I think that's what this does is essentially more sophisticated, larger scale developers to come in and to build in Tremont. Gives them a reason to come.
It's been good.
True.
That's very, clearly.
Thank you, Sean. Anything else?
Scroll down if you would, Lindsay. I'm not sure if there's anything. Oh yeah, comments. I was just going to mention a couple of things to you. You might recall that we got a CLG grant, Certified Local Government. It's through the State Office of History to essentially do a study to create a historic district. At least that's our end objective. And so the first thing they do is a reconnaissance level survey, which essentially they go out in a geographic area of the city and look at all the properties and see if they are essentially contributing or significantly contributing to the historic integrity of the city. And so anyways, long story short, I did create the request for qualifications for consultants to essentially do that work with the end goal being the historic district. That's currently out with the deadline of October 28th for them to submit their qualifications and bid. And I hope to have it on the next city council agenda. If you're interested, it's posted on the city's website. You can take a look at the RFQ and B, but essentially it's as I explained. It's here in the course central part of town is where we anticipate them doing the survey work and then hopefully submitting all the paperwork for consideration of this National Historic District.
Didn't we have somebody that came and did something like that a few years ago?
We did, yeah. It's essentially the same work that they would do. What they found is essentially we were at 50% of the areas surveyed. The buildings were either contributory or significant, and they typically like to see a little higher concentration of buildings closer to the 60%. And so we're going to do surveys on the north side of town, essentially from 6 North to Main Street, and do the survey work there because we anticipate from the windshield survey that there's a lot of buildings that would qualify that would increase that percentage and thereby allow us to get this historic district. Okay. So, and then the other thing I was going to show for feedback and comments is billboards. You know, the city does have several billboards.
Is that what you call them now, Joe?
If you can see them, they're kind of blanks. But so this is essentially southbound. Actually, if you go up to one more, Lindsay, I think there's one more slide of. Oh no.
I like that little kid.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So there's two options that we've been exploring. Zach put these together with a small working group, and it's really difficult because we don't want to clutter it so much that people can't see. So they're supposed to be simple, short messages that convey something. And so there's two options. One is the screaming kid, time to take a break, concept. And then the other one, which ties into another billboard that I'll show you here on SR 13, but it's essentially just some symbols with the city's name. So I don't know if you have any preference or consideration. Working with Yesco, we went actually to the Yesco's facility, and they gave us a tour. We talked a little bit about pricing. We budgeted $60,000. We got $20,000 from the county from a tourism grant, and the city would pay the additional $40,000. And if we did something in the line of vinyl wraps, those are much more expensive. But the frequency of having to update the sign copy is
Right,
every
when they
6
get
months to a
blown
year.
and ripped and, yeah.
So we're opting for something that has a little more staying power, and so, anyways, that's kind of that's two concepts that we're exploring. And if you have any preference, I think
I like the bottom one, but
I do too.
Which one?
I don't like it.
The kid
I'm the
screaming.
kid.
I like it.
I do too.
You like
It
the top
gets
one,
your,
Brett?
it
Get
gets,
with
I don't like it because I think it makes it look like you're pulling into a scary place.
no. The scary place is in your back seat.
Oh, I was gonna.
Time for a break?
Why would that be scary?
Just negative?
Yeah, it's negative.
See it as.
It's not a positive. I mean, there's got to be a reason to want to go to Tremont, not just because it's a place to take a break.
What have we got? It's a place to take a break.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't.
We can think on it a little more. I think he'll come up with some. Zach's got some.
The top part was good. In fact, I was just thinking both of them on the same one.
I think it's cool.
I do too.
Yeah.
That might be the thing. Do both of them on there, huh? Do half and
It's
half.
a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's a lot of information.
That's too much.
Well, you got all those little.
How many
they're just
signs do we
signs.
have?
So we do have 3 signs, and then go to the next slide, you can see the other one. I'll go back to what.
Where's that?
So this is off Rocket
That's
Road.
that whole down south.
Yeah, so you're headed northbound on I-15.
Yeah.
I think we are sort of, we're showing you the best of what we got. So if we're sort of focused on these just because we don't have any more ideas. And we do have this grant that we need to take advantage of. So unless you have ideas, we can get the costs, we can get it.
So would you,
Take advantage of the golden spike somehow too, that might be
Yeah, I think
eye-catching.
what we've sort of thought about is, the best thing we could hope for, I think, is to try to get people to stop in Tremonton. And then if we could get them to stop, maybe extend, the stay a little bit. The golden spike is a little further off. And I'm not sure, frankly, that people, on an impulse would look at a golden spike billboard and say,
Well,
let's.
But it's eye-catching. It's something that, you would notice. I think I probably thought that as much as anything. But
Yeah.
I think the
You
top
know
one's
those
too narrow.
symbols that other one's already got, the golf and the fuel and stuff like that? I like those, that the old one's got. Not so much as our thing on the left, but,
Don't get on that thing on the left. We have battles on that baby.
I know, but it doesn't bring somebody off the freeway.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's because it's time to take a break.
okay, so where's our other one at? That's the one down here by the freeway. Where's the other one?
Yeah, let me show you the other one, and then maybe we can circle back.
South of the
So
crossroads.
this is right, so this one is right off 2000 West, essentially between 2000 West and the interstate. What you can see in the background is CR Trailers, or what was CR Trailers on
So
Main
is
Street.
that off? Okay.
Just right across from Westwood Foods.
Are the birds on top of it optional?
They're $10.
That's the one that's
piece.
on Nicholas's property, right?
Got it.
Right,
Okay.
yeah,
All
just
right.
off Nicholas's, but yes. So that one is off
They're just-
Rocket Road, on property that I think UDOT owns. It's right, the overpass that you can see to the side is gonna go over 1000 West Iowa Stream, right there. So that's that location. And then the other billboard that we're looking to redo is off SR 13.
That one's south of the crossroads.
Yes. And what we're, this would actually, it's a double-faced sign. What they're proposing here is essentially to strip everything down except the supports and essentially rebuild. So the face that we see, Tremonton, would be the very top, which would be essentially advertising to more local traffic, trying to get them, to go to Tremont Main Street. The back side of this billboard would be a sign copy that Box Elder County Chamber would put up, which is what they currently use now, and it would show what you see, the graphic you see down below. What we're contemplating here is less billboard and a little bit more of a permanent sign. If you go to the next slide, they call it essentially an extruded sign, where it would have a box, and that's what's sort of represented there, you can see. And essentially, they cut out on the boxed portion the letters, and then they essentially push plastic through that, so it essentially gives some depth and perception. And then when you light it up, it essentially creates some of the effect that you see there based on the lighting. It's to be a little bit more tamper-proof and vandal-proof, but would be an attractive sign is what we're hoping. So go back to that other. So some of those features would be have some dimensions to them. And would, when it would be at night, would have some lighting effects as well. So you can see that the billboards on Interstate, follow that same design as one option, or the other option would be, to employ a little bit of humor in trying to get people off the interstate.
Hey, is that one you're thinking about doing, the one with Tremont, some gave all, or is that one that's out there?
Yeah, it's so faded right now that you really have to know what you're looking at to have it make any sense. But that was a vinyl wrap that lasted at least 10 years. It was here before I came.
And it must not be an eye catcher, because I wasn't really sure that it was still there.
It looks more sepia
Okay,
colored.
but the simple things, I was thinking about this, I saw a tractor for sale, okay, and it had a little sign in the sucker, and the idea was good, and the sign was good, but it had a telephone number, but you couldn't read it, okay? When you're cruising down the flipping freeway, you're going at 80 miles an hour, you have to have 6 words or something on the sign, and it has to be great big so you can read it. Anything else is a waste of time. Little pictures mean nothing, okay? Maybe at the little place that's moving slow, out by the crossroads, people would look at something.
Mm-hmm.
But the freeway ones, they need a big sign with minimal things that say stop at Tremont because it's great. Whether that be the eat, shop, stay, Tremont Main Street, something like that would be really simple, but it's got to be simple and eye-catching and plain so people can look at it. I'm going to stop here. I'm sorry.
Are you saying you're gonna stop here?
I stopped here
you're
because of that.
okay. I'm with you.
So,
Good job, Raj.
I don't know where you want to go.
Well, I guess we're at a point where we either, choose one of these as one of the options. I guess we could go back to the drawing board and maybe get more people involved, or we could hire someone professionally to do something. We did ask Yesco to come up with some designs, and it was really difficult for them. That's where we sort of took it in-house and took some time to create this. I guess I'm not really sure where to go if these aren't attractive to you. Or
Is that your kid, Mark?
In fact, he looked at did he tell you how much it cost?
he didn't tell me. He just said, you go ahead and.
I think it was like, if we're gonna do it how this one would be, it would all be painted, the fuel, food, lodging, Tremonton would be painted, and then the kid picture would be a vinyl, and so it would only last a year or 2, and you could switch that part out. And I think for 2 years, for that exact picture, it was like $5,200 or something.
Wow.
Just to buy the picture. But we could take, I mean, my kids are about that age, they scream a lot.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
But anyways,
Brett,
Yeah,
doesn't
thanks
your
for-
machines do that over there?
What?
Doesn't your machines do that
No.
over there?
You have to have a UV printer to do that. I don't.
Yeah, these are pretty large scale. I can't remember. Do you remember the signs is like 12 feet?
what was it, 12 by 24 or something?
I like the idea of, it being replaced every couple of years, because then you could put something a little bit different each there. So along that vein, I think that this isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, and I forgot that piece, and I'm glad
You know?
Mark.
But I don't like the screaming kid, because it's like, oh, stop here. 'cause you
He's not
have to.
screaming, he's laughing because he's stopping.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I think you put on there like something from Shrek, or that one where it's like, are we there yet, or something
Yay,
like that.
Dad, we're stopping.
Yeah.
We showed it to a few people, actually, and we had another version that was maybe more bathroom humor oriented.
Oh, I like that.
And so, but we thought better of ourselves.
I'd like to have seen it.
I still think you need to put that glass bathroom out here on the main square. and
Oh,
let's
no
use
kidding,
that.
I like that.
Yeah. I think we were, but-
That is intriguing that you could change that sign though, that picture, because Brett doesn't like it. Maybe you get it. I don't know what you get.
I'm only one person. Whatever you want to do.
Lyle doesn't. You don't like Screaming Kid either, then, huh?
Whatever.
Yeah, the good news is, I think under that scenario, we could
We had a
change it.
porta
Yeah,
potty up
you
in
know.
our house.
I like it.
There's a new house going
Yeah.
in, the kids have tipped it over.
Whatever, it's a huge improvement over what we've got.
3 times.
And I like the top one too.
But I think if we go that route, we need to not let it get looking bad up there. So
Absolutely.
every 2 years, we just ought to budget it and put a memo down that we're going to change this every 2 years. And put something, so we just keep it looking fresh.
I think.
I think the next one ought to be,
Gift card.
this one's good for right now, but the next one ought to be
There
pictures
you
of the
go.
new city council members up there.
You could put a picture up there of this round circle with a lot of light coming off of it, and just use that as Jeff's head.
They won't even know me any.
Lyle thinks we ought to put a sign up that says, go to Crumps and Reese and get a free $5
Gift card.
Send them in. And then stop D.L. Evans. Okay, we didn't get anywhere on that,
So,
did we?
if I'm hearing what you're saying, maybe we'll explore the bottom one and really focus on trying to change it. Essentially put a vinyl wrap that would last, or not a vinyl wrap, it's a vinyl adhesive, isn't it more or less a sticker? Is what he told us?
Yeah.
That being said, Sean, is there different pictures right now they can put in that maybe everybody go for?
Maybe, yeah, if you guys have ideas of what images you want to highlight, maybe.
What about murals?
One of the murals.
They're not colorful enough to get people's attention. I don't think.
And they're kind of busy, aren't they?
You have to have something that's.
I'm with
bold.
Roger, it's got, the less better is better on that.
I think if
We
have
ought to get our wives here, they would pick this out, right? We suck. Go ahead, Diana, pick it.
I'm gonna slug you.
I was serious.
I was thinking, with the fuel, food, and lodging, in my mind, it makes sense to have something sort of related to those issues.
Absolutely.
The Take a Break is a great slogan. I just don't like the picture, that's all.
Oh, I love
It
that
just-
picture.
I do too.
I love that
I
picture.
That's
Who likes the picture? You don't count.
Paul does. Mark,
Yes, I do.
Chief,
See, isn't that why we
the
have
picture.
vanilla and chocolate?
The screaming kid.
I actually had the
Rob,
same reaction.
what do you think?
I don't know if I'm after.
That's why we're all different.
I think it's a lot.
We have multiple people that think it's pretty good.
So we'll focus on the bottom.
I like to Take a Break. I think it's awesome.
Well, we'll have to recreate, I guess, the image anyways.
Okay.
So maybe we'll take some pictures of Mark's models.
I can see the leader putting that on the front page and saying, we got new signs. That's gonna
Who
happen.
reads the leader?
Yeah, but I got,
There's 3 people.
yeah.
I'll take a picture of my grandkids, I want to charge you $5,000.
Okay, so then if you would scroll to that next, the SR13, is that concept looking okay for that billboard?
So where is this bottom part? It's just gonna be where the bottom squares are, and then we're gonna do the top part the same?
So
Is that
this
what you're
is-
saying?
Well, let me see if I can get. Oh, there we go. So this is, I hope.
Tremont and Main Street.
Yeah, this is one sign, as I think you probably anticipate. This would be on this side. This shop local would be on the back.
On the back side. But, so the whole sign, you're gonna replace the whole sign?
The whole sign would be essentially a box sign, which would
Okay.
be essentially, and then that. have
And that
extruded-
3D
The
stuff?
shop local, is that what you're talking about? The whole sign would be a shop local?
Well, no, so our sign copy would be, they would construct a box.
Does the chamber pay for that?
So the chamber would pay for a portion, their sign, and we would pay for our sign.
So that's not a bad deal, because
No.
we're one and the same on there.
I thought it was kind of sterile, but I like, if it's coming out in a box like that, then it'd look okay.
Yep.
And are we gonna light it?
Act like you were
Yes,
a cop.
it'd be
Oh.
internally lit, and so kind of like what you see there, it's sort of hard to see in the photograph, especially since it's dark, but it essentially would be internally lit within the box, and then the light would shine through the extruded plastic that's pushed through
Now,
the cutouts.
how big a thing is this?
You remember
As
this
big
one?
as that sign?
Is it the whole sign?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sign, so
The whole
go back to
big
the
sign.
sign,
Okay.
Oh, whoops.
and I think it's the shop local,
Oh, my heck.
the SHOP local would be pushed out. So at night, you could see shop local. And then the paint, it would all be painted, so the red would be painted, the white would be painted. And then you could push out that boxellerchamber.com
That,
as well, and that could be lit at night.
I don't like the O.
And
Yeah, I don't like
that's
that
the-
at all.
It's gotta be more Oish.
That's silly.
Well, it's a county within a
Because
county.
I
It
do
just-
graphic design every day, and to me, that's just not, I don't like it.
Well, that portion of the sign, we can make suggestions, but,
Right.
and we can suggest that to the chamber. We have suggested things all along the way, but it would be the chamber who would probably, since it'd be
But
paid
that would be
for it.
something I think we should suggest, though. I agree with Brett.
Kind of ugly. It looks like Tennessee or one of those states over there.
It's a county.
I know, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean, nobody knows that. That's a waste of time.
I don't think we
Except
have.
the county chamber is doing it,
Yeah.
so that's probably why.
That's all right.
But it's got Box Elder County, or Box Elder Chamber on the bottom. They don't need a.
They don't, I'd put a.
Unless they're giving us money.
But if it's gonna be worthwhile, it's gotta be good. You don't want a piece of.
Yeah. Well, we'll
Put a
suggest.
cowboy hat on it.
We'll suggest.
Round
that.
cowboy hat. Stick that thing right out.
All right. Let's
So
move
is that
forward.
looking okay generally? You think you guys can live with, is there consensus
If
to live with those?
We're okay.
we're good.
Yeah.
And just as long as it's not purple.
No, I don't want purple. That's true.
I gotta agree there. I don't even like Brett.
Where's purple?
Brigham
As
says,
long as there is
Box Elder
one.
bees.
Oh,
You
okay.
can put that down in Brigham.
Okay, we'll make sure that doesn't
Okay.
purple.
Anything else, Sean?
No, we'll,
Woo! Okay,
Think, Garland.
that was good. Department head reports?
If you want updates, I can give you updates. If not, we can move on.
We're good.
Were you gonna put together that user meeting for?
Do you guys need an
pricing?
update?
We got your
oh yeah,
reports,
so
more than that.
working with
Got
We're
Curtis,
good.
he was sick on Friday and I was gonna try to nail him down, and so I've been playing phone tag with him. But he's still working on the audit, but I am working on trying to set up that meeting. And my understanding is we just have you and Lyle, essentially meet, we could, go over.
Are you gonna bring some people in from the public?
We could, I know there's been interest from Eric. I guess I'd rather, talk internally. If you want to expand it, yeah, if
Okay.
you want to expand it, we can certainly do that. But Eric is still very interested
Yeah.
in the whole issue.
I'd like to, at some point, maybe bring him in and get some of his feedback.
Yeah, I had a good conversation with them, actually. It was a
Good.
real enjoyable conversation, so I think if we could sort of get organized and
He's
then have a
calming down.
conversation.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was good.
Good.
He was really, like I said, it was an enjoyable
Okay.
exchange.
Council reports. Brett, start on your end.
I can't, I'm staying with my
I don't
own.
think I have anything, thank you.
Okay. Lyle H,
No.
I have heard an awfully lot of good comments on your flower pots this year.
Oh, yeah.
They have been exceptionally well liked.
Me too, Lyle. No, doesn't go unnoticed.
And the pumpkins, I don't know where they came from, but or did you bring the pumpkins?
Yeah.
They look good.
And his tomatoes are amazing.
Yeah, the pumpkins are, unfortunately, some people are using them to throw out on the street.
Are they
Take
really?
them home and-
Didn't do it
Chuck
last
some
year,
of
they
your off.
seem to be doing it this year though.
Your bill.
Anything else, Lyle?
Nope.
Yeah.
Jeffrey?
No, sir.
Diana?
They're taking Lyle's pumpkins and chucking them?
Yeah,
Really?
on the street.
That's like the good old days.
I'm getting some signs getting stolen or maybe thrown to garbage, or I can't wait to see where they show
Connie, you
up.
have got to stop that. You got to quit throwing your
Mine have been disappearing too.
Are they really?
Yes,
That's a fine. That's a fine, man.
I've lost 2.
You've lost 2?
Really?
It's got to be Scott Dahlia.
Sounds like a deal. Dalley's got some signs in that.
Yeah, I see he got
I'm
some.
afraid of where they're going to show up.
On the outhouse. That's
Yeah.
where they used to put mine.
All right, I have nothing, I don't think. We need to go into another closed session for a few minutes.
Yeah, just real quick.
Okay.
I move we go into a closed session.
I second.
Motion made by Diana, second by Jeff. All in favor?
Hey, that's a pretty
Opposed.
cute group.
Thank you, Connie.
Connie.
See ya.
Look at that.